Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk about part 2 of our Disney Cruise Line vacation.
And we interview our 1-year-old on her experience.
Let's dive in. All right, and this is episode number 156.
Welcome back, as always, everybody.
Welcome back. It has been a couple weeks.
I know.
And it has been a long, adventurous, eventful couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we've got some updates for you guys, a little family housekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
But we had Maddie's first birthday party.
We did.
It was delayed by a week,
Mm-hmm.
which, did we talk about that already?
Kind of, but not
Okay,
really.
so came back from our trip, which we're going to talk about here in a second, the second part. But we came back from this giant family vacation, which was a ton of fun, huge success. But unfortunately, we all came back, and I mean all of us.
The whole family.
You're talking grandparents, you're talking uncles, you're talking us.
Yeah.
Our whole entire family, me, Caitlin, and Maddie, all came back with a cold, and it hit us pretty hard. So
Yes.
we did not want to spread that to other family members,
Mhm.
my aunts and uncles and my grandparents, because you just don't want them getting sick. So just sent out a thing saying, hey, we're going to delay it a week. It stunk because we had all these things planned. Caitlin had ordered these cakes and
Mhm.
custom cupcake things for her birthday. And my parents were awesome enough to order this like balloon arch
Yeah.
background thing.
Mhm.
We had to delay that. So all the vendors were amazing in understanding
Yeah.
and pushing everything, but it took a lot of work. Caitlin, I'm going to give all the credit, and my mom, they both planned everything.
Yeah.
And
You helped too. Stop it.
very little. The only suggestion I had was a hot cocoa bar, and you guys pulled through.
Oh, and that was like one of the favorite things
Yeah.
at the party.
So we'll talk about it more over on Patreon. So if
Yeah.
you're interested at all in hearing about a 1-year-old's birthday party, join us over there. But it was a success. So
Mhm.
we had a good time with family and friends doing that. And then in the meantime, just a couple of days ago, I got back from another work trip.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a couple of nights, which is not bad. But let me tell you, it's Nashville. I go to Nashville a lot throughout the year. And that's a haul from Sacramento.
Especially when you just got back from Florida.
I just got back like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, when I left. And so, yes. And I just realized something. I was coming down the escalator at the airport, and I'm like, I feel like I've been here like a ton, which I have been. I've been at the airport. Sorry, how do I say this? I've been on a trip 6 months in a row.
Yes.
So at least once I'm gone at the flipping airport for the past 6 months. It'll be 7 months
Mhm.
in January since we're going down to Disneyland.
It's a lot.
So once a month, I've been at the airport.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a lot.
I know. And again, we're thankful for all of you who travel every month. We probably sound
Oh,
like
I know. I sound like a
babies.
baby. There are some people, some of my bosses and people above me, they are gone 3
Same.
weeks out of the year.
Yep.
So that amateur numbers over here.
Mhm.
But it's enough for me to miss home a lot, and I
Mhm.
miss Maddie and you. And that's why I don't travel a lot. I used to travel a ton
A ton
when I
we're
was
dating. Yeah.
younger. When I was a young lad, just fresh in my career,
Mhm.
I was gone there was 1 month in October. I think I was home like 4 days. The rest
Mhm.
of it I was gone.
And we're talking, I think you went to Florida, then you went to
Virgin-
SoCal, Virginia.
So, yeah, Virginia, Southern California, I think like Portland. I don't know. It was a wild
You went
month.
to New York too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All over the place.
It was crazy. But that was another time. I don't miss it. But anyways, a lot of traveling going on. Just got back from that. So happy to be home. And really celebrating Christmas.
Yes, because
It
it's
feels-
almost over.
It's almost over. It feels like it just started for us because we were gone a chunk of November.
Mhm.
We're a November 1st family, right when Halloween's done.
Mhm.
Christmas lights are going up. We're listening to music. So it feels like we missed a big chunk for good reason. We were on a
Right.
family vacation. But with her party and getting sick and being gone for a week and a half, it kind of like I felt like it just cut it in half.
Yeah. And then Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, and
So it's
Thanksgiving.
like,
So it feels like now we're just soaking it up. And so
Mhm.
we've been watching Christmas movies, Christmas Vacation last night.
so good.
And sorry, one more thing, and then we got to get started on this. It's going to be a long episode.
Okay.
We're sitting there watching the movie Christmas
Oh, yes.
Vacation,
Mhm.
Chevy Chase, the whole bunch. And I hear this screech and crunch, which I'm like, that did not sound good. It was loud. And so I pause the movie, throw my slides on, I run outside.
Caleb's like, what was that?
I
And
know.
I'm literally deaf. I'm like, did someone
Yeah,
scream?
you were
He's
way
like,
out of
no.
Was that a scream? No, it was not a scream. So I throw my slides on. I go outside. It's pitch black outside. I look down the street, and someone down the road has a lot of very nice cars.
Mhm.
Very nice cars. Like a Land Rover, Defender, what else does he
A
have?
really nice Audi.
An Audi R8. He's got a Ford Raptor F-150. Very, very expensive cars. Someone had turned the corner, driven down the street a little ways. He's not like a corner house. He's down the road a little bit. So clearly not paying attention. Had managed to, at a low speed, crash into the back of his truck that was parked on the road. And I go out. She's like screaming, "I'm so sorry," because he had come out of his house. And he's yelling, like, "I've got insurance, I promise. I'm so sorry." And he was really nice and was like, "Are you okay? Like, I just want to make sure you're okay."
Yeah.
So they didn't seem too bothered about the car, but I felt terrible because that's just kind of cruddy all around.
And it was pretty late too when that happened.
I know. So I don't know if someone's been maybe
who knows,
drinking a little bit, having a little too much fun, or just not paying attention. Maybe looking at Christmas lights and you hit someone's car.
Yeah. Well, him and his wife took it really well. They were really calm with the lady.
Yeah.
So
they were just like, "Are you okay? Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay. Let's just exchange information. You can go on your way."
Yeah.
And then that night he was having his truck towed and getting fixed. Because I heard it was like midnight. I'm going up to bed and I hear, metal clanging and beep, beep. And I look out the thing and he's getting it towed. He was not messing around.
Nope.
This thing's getting fixed.
No.
So that was an eventful night. All right, let's dive into the episode. Before we do, we have a Patreon. If you want to join us over there and listen about, again, like I mentioned, a 1-year-old birthday party, join us over there, markethousepodcast.com/support. It's also linked in the episode description, but there's some fun bonus content over there, and it is a great way to support the show. Also consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. It is a huge, huge help to the show. And also, please share this episode with a friend. If you've got a friend that's going to Disney World or Disney Cruise or Disneyland, share one of our episodes with them, and hopefully it helps their planning out. Also, there was a giveaway.
There was a quite large giveaway.
Really, really big. And I got to give a ton of credit, most of the credit, to Katie over at Fam Travel Folio. She's the one that put this all together. She was nice enough and kind enough to invite us to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
She was by far the biggest contributor to it, both financially and both kind of organizationally.
Yes.
So big credit to them.
Her.
Katie. And also Caitlin was the one that kind of you did all the work on our end. So
there was hardly any work on mine. It was Katie. There was another account, Danielle Faves.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys missed it, there was a gigantic giveaway. There was 2 Disneyland tickets and a $100 Disneyland gift card or Disney gift card. That was awesome. So whoever won, you already know by now. So congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to the winner. I forgot the name.
Seriously,
but
that was awesome.
Looks like it was a family. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, so stand out. Look out for more of those to come. I know we're wanting to do one soon, so definitely stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. Okay, no news this week. It was just too long of an episode. But all I know is that Caitlin sent me this big article about the 70th celebration for Disneyland. There are a ton of dates they've announced and shows coming back, and I'm not going to butcher it because we didn't spend time researching, but just go to Disney Parks blog and get caught up on the 70th celebration, and also they announced the whole calendar, right?
Yeah, so all 2025 has been announced, and all you guys need to know is that Paint the Night is coming and Wondrous Journeys is returning.
That's all I care about.
That's all you care about.
Honestly,
just kidding. There's so many more things. So as Kayla mentioned, definitely go over to their website and check it out because there's Oogie Boogie dates. There's everything. So
the holiday dates, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So go
Holidays
check it out.
are starting early again in August.
Crazy. All right, let's get into this trip report. All right, and that brings us to our main segment and only segment of this week's episode, and that is part 2 of our Disney World and Disney Cruise Line trip report.
The most exciting part of this entire series.
Yes, we are getting to the cruise part. So last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, we covered our travel day, our Disney Springs day, and Epcot day. So definitely go back and listen to that if you haven't already. It was a great first half of the trip. Now we're getting to the meat of it, the thing that we paid the most for and honestly was looking forward to the most, which was our 6-night Very Merrytime sailing on the Disney Fantasy.
And this was a big one for us because we have never done a 6-night. We have never done a Merrytime, and we have never been to Lighthouse Point.
Yeah, Lighthouse Point.
Key.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
And also never been on a cruise with family.
That's right.
Like anybody outside of our nuclear family.
And with a baby.
And with a baby.
It was a big, big trip.
And it was for her first birthday. So it was just a lot of newness, a lot of firsts for us.
Mm-hmm.
We've done 2 4-night cruises.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a 7-night for Alaska.
And a 5-night.
And then a 5-night, and then now a 6-night.
Mm-hmm.
So we've covered 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
Not going to waste our time with 3. This is too short.
Too short.
And throw a 9-night at me. I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
12-night.
Are you sure?
I'm not going to pay for it if you can find someone to pay for us, but I will do it. I will gladly be on that ship. So this is the time we talk about the cruise. So let's talk about getting picked up. So after Epcot Day, which we talked about again a couple weeks ago, we woke up the next morning to start packing up the room and grabbing a small bite to eat before heading off to the port. So if you don't know, there's Orlando, which is where Disney World is situated, Celebration, Florida, that whole area. And Port Canaveral, which is where most of Disney Cruise Line's ships are stationed or whatever ported at, is about an hour drive.
Right.
So you've got to take some kind of transportation. You can't walk it. You can't, take a local bus. You got to either book it through Disney. You can do private transportation. You can do Uber. You name it. You can get over there. Right. So this is kind of what you're prepping for and getting ready for. We booked private transportation this time to and from the port. It was our first time doing this because we had a large enough group to justify it. So if it's just me, Caitlin, and Maddie, doesn't make a total financial sense to do it. If you've got baller money and you want to just be you and your family, then do it. It's worth every penny, in my opinion. But with the family and multiple parties, it helps spreading that cost out. So this was a no-brainer for us. It was actually cheaper to do it this way or around the same price as Disney transportation. So this was through Away We Go, not sponsored at all, but we loved it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Seriously.
It was awesome. They come in these big vans, basically like Sprinter vans.
Yeah.
And we brought a ton of luggage. Our party did. My dad packs 8 bags for himself. My brother and his girlfriend packed a lot of bags for them. They wanted some more room for the way home. So there was a lot. There was a lot of bags. They fit all of us in there with a car seat. It was very impressive and very, very, very nice drivers. Very kind. And the vans were very clean. Again, I'm going to reiterate, we are not sponsored. We paid for this out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And again, what I want to mention too is not only was the cleanliness there, but the van was nice and cold. The AC was there. Everyone was comfortable.
Yeah.
They weren't bad drivers.
No.
It was amazing.
It was awesome, both to and from. So could not say any more nice things about Away We Go. And I'm sure there's a lot of others out there, but that's what we used and we love them. I'm going to say it was a little hectic getting out that morning. Let me tell you why. So a little stressful, not because half the room can't be packed because you've got a baby.
Right.
So the pack and play's out. Her formula's out because we have to make some bottles that morning. You've got half her stuff is out. So you have to do it that morning. So we woke up, packed it up. And in the meantime, I'm like, hey, I got to go we had a Target delivery that was delivered that morning. It was a last minute thing.
I'm just remembering this and being like, oh my God.
It was so much. I was so stressed and I did it to myself. I forgot some stuff at home. So we needed to order it that morning. So I did so, and it was going to get delivered an hour before we left for the port.
Yeah.
So it gets delivered. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to Bell Services. I'll be right back. I'm going to see if we can get help with our bags because we have so many, or I'll just grab one of those, luggage carts.
Right.
So I go over there, and I am met with a 20 to 30 person line.
And the entire time we've been at this resort, there hasn't been a line for
No,
Bell Services.
It's been dead. It's been really, not busy at all.
Right.
There's 20. So clearly there a busload of people just showed up. They're getting help with their bags because it was that time of morning where you can't get a room yet, but you just showed up to go to the park. So you're dumping your bags off. So huge line. I just said, hey, can I get some help here? I'm just here to pick up a Target. And they're like, no, you got to join the line. So I had to wait in a 30, 45-minute line just to pick up one bag of groceries or whatever we ordered. So they grabbed it for me, and then I was, at this point, had no time. So I just grabbed one of their luggage carts and booked it back to the room. In the meantime, Caitlin was a trooper and had managed to pack half the room with Maddie. I don't know how you did it.
We
Magic?
just hung out. Well,
yeah.
There was a lot of we had snacks. Snacks.
Did you keep her busy with snacks? Okay.
I think we had on the Disney story time, on the TV. And she was all cuddled up because she loves cuddling. And so she was all cuddled up with herself and just eating her snack. So she was fine.
Perfect.
So it all worked out.
So I came back. I'm all sweaty. I'm starting to load bags up. In the meantime, the shuttle had arrived. And my brother was kind enough, freshly showered. He's all dressed. He comes up and he's like, oh, man, you need help, don't you? So he was very kind and helped me load up all the baggage. We're both sweaty at this point because it's humid and hot in Florida. And got it downstairs. Driver took it by then we were smooth sailing. So got in the shuttle van thing, headed over to the port. It was about an hour drive. And then right when we show up, those very kind porters come out and they start grabbing bags for us. And they were just
Which
amazing.
was really great because one thing that I was concerned about is normally we're used to taking, because we're always usually staying on Disney property when we're in Disney World, and we normally take the Disney Cruise Line buses to the port. Well, if you're taking those buses, you immediately get to go in, right? You have your bags. either they're getting taken for you or you're doing a carry-on with whatever you're taking. This situation was different. Since we did private transportation, we had to wait outside in the line for our group to be called. So we were out there for quite some time.
Yeah.
So my biggest concern was, oh my gosh, because we had a couple carry-ons that we had to take through. Like, are we just going to be holding our bags for like a couple hours? So we did have to do that for like the one bag, but the rest of them were all taken by these really kind people, which was really nice because I was so concerned. I'm like, do we have to wait? Is there a different protocol?
No. Yeah.
So
they're very kind. We're not used to waiting, like Caitlin mentioned. So that was kind of a bummer with Disney Cruise Line transportation, those big buses. You kind of get to skip all that nonsense. You just get let right in, like Caitlin mentioned. So the wait was odd.
Yeah.
It gave time for you to have
Maddie took a nap.
Put Maddie for a nap.
Yeah.
How do I say that?
Put her down.
Maddie.
Yeah.
Nap. Child. Sleep.
It was great because it started dumping right when we got out to the port, which was interesting. And it was super muggy. So literally the entire family, you're like sardines in these lines based on when you're, what is it called?
Your boarding group.
Boarding group.
Yeah.
Time. And so
port arrival time.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I'm basically with Maddie in like a carrier on the side over by, like, for those who cruise a lot, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The people who do like the double dips where they go back to back on the cruise line, there's like a little entry area for them on the side.
Yeah.
Where like the gangway is. And then if you look out the window when you're going through security, there's like a little area where there's like, basically there was like the security cop just standing there. I was walking back and forth for how long? Was it an hour?
Hour, probably.
And you could tell he was kind of like, is she going to try and like, and I'm like, I'm just walking here. So it was fine.
Trying to sneak in.
But hey, she got the nap.
She got a nap in. So it was helpful, but also annoying at the same time because you're like sardine with a bunch of people. So we finally make it in. We boarded the ship very shortly afterwards. We got some pictures in front of the beautiful Christmas tree in that terminal. Mm-hmm. Board the ship. And after that grand entrance, I was so looking forward to like my family seeing it for the first time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I mentioned this, but first time my parents have been on a Disney cruise. They've been on plenty of Royal Caribbean cruises. Mm-hmm. And the first time my brothers and also my brother's girlfriend had been on a cruise, period. Mm-hmm. So it was their first time cruising. So right when they ask for your last name and they say, welcome the family, we get in there and it's just fun. Everyone's smiling. There's Minnie Mouse waving at everybody. It was just
so fun.
Very magical moment. So we're very excited to be on there. We quickly went and got some lunch at Animator's Palette.
But I want to mention one thing.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Since it was decorated, this was the first Merrytime sailing.
Oh, yeah, Merrytime.
Which is super exciting. The atrium was absolutely stunning. Like, I cannot, which we'll get into, just the Merrytime theming. The atrium was absolutely beautiful, and the gingerbread house that you're greeted with, the entire atrium smelled absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it was both a combination of the Disney Cruise Line scent, which I don't know how to. It smells so good.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's like, I don't know what it is. So it smells like a candle, and then also you've got gingerbread wafting in your nose.
So good,
beautiful. So that's why we got so hungry so quickly. So we booked it over to Animator's Palette. The line was gigantic. I think people have caught on.
Yeah, because we've never experienced that.
No, usually it's quick because people go to cabanas because I think, I would imagine most people just think of you go to the buffet right when you get on that cruise ship.
Yeah.
We've been the other folks that are like, I want to sit down, I want to relax. Mm-hmm. I don't want the buffet hecticness. So we usually head to the sit down. Everyone else felt the same way.
Right.
So this was a very long wait. We didn't care. We were on a cruise ship, so we were all having fun talking in line.
Yeah.
But that was kind of, I should have taken the hint.
That was the start.
This was the start of waiting. There was a lot of waiting around food times. So Animator's Palette took an exorbitant amount of time.
So
I don't know why.
We waited 30 minutes to sit down.
Okay. So that's not a big deal. That I don't mind.
Which was fine. So we got in, we sat down, we gave her order. We waited, was it an hour?
It had to have been an hour for our food.
It was really weird.
Really weird. And so we had 3 people at our table. My mom, myself, and my brother me and my brother have celiac disease, which is an actual autoimmune disorder. I hate saying allergy because it's not, but we just call it allergy. So let's just say 3 of us at the table had food allergies, mm-hmm. right? So I always build in, they have to prep, you have to accommodate for that, right? So it's always going to take longer than a table with no allergies. I get that. That's okay. I'm used to it by now. This took an insanely long time. We felt so bad because they were trying to shut down the restaurant and we still were finishing eating our food.
And I'm talking like, they're like yelling at the crew members.
Yeah, they're like yelling stuff like, get to your stations. And
you need to clock out.
It was super uncomfortable. So we were like, felt bad, but at the same time, it was weird.
You have to tell the bread story though. About your mom.
Yeah, my brother wanted some bread. I think they either didn't bring us. They ran out. So yes, he says, hey, are we able to get bread? Our server, very nice guy, says, oh, we ran out. And we're like, oh, that's okay. And then immediately goes, well, you know what? Let me send someone to the bakery to grab you some bread. Mind you, 45 minutes later, we still don't have the bread. At this point, my brother's like, you can forget about the bread. We don't need it. And he's like, no, I sent someone.
Yeah.
So this poor guy ran across the ship. God knows where that bakery is. Brought back a bag of bread for him.
It was like, eat it.
And so then we awkwardly sat there for 10 minutes waiting for him to eat one roll.
Because we're eating dessert.
Yes.
Already.
And he's sitting there eating a buttered roll while we eat our ice cream. So it was just this awkward.
It was so good.
But that was just an indication of what we were going to kind of prep for. What else did we do?
Well, we're just going to talk about just having
That was it. Then we got off the ship, and then
we went home. No, we just wanted to mention that during that like long times, we did want to highlight because we got a lot of questions about basically bringing family on a trip, and this was the first time that we brought extended family on a Disney vacation. We have brought Maddie's mom. We've brought Maddie's grandma.
Yeah, we do tend to take Maddie's mom on trips, which is
Caleb's mom on our Disneyland trip. Was it back in May?
6 months ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was the first time with the extended family. It was awesome, especially for those longer wait times. Again, Maddie's a really, really good kid. She's very patient, but there's times where she's kind of like, I don't want to sit here anymore.
Yeah, we've been waiting an hour for food, so I'm bored. So I just wanted to just a huge shout out to family. And if you're thinking about bringing family, do it because it's number one, just a huge blast to have family on board. And then number two, in those moments, grandparents want nothing more than to have more time with their grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
So that perfect time, we're sitting there waiting. She's getting a little agitated. And my dad was like, I got her, picked her up and they went and walked around and we're looking at, I don't even know what they were looking at.
Everything and anything.
They were across the restaurant when the food came because I had to go find them. And I was like, hey, get over here. We're going to eat. So those moments were just amazing. I know one night at dinner, we were sitting there eating. And again, things were taking a long time. We'll get to that. And my dad took Maddie.
Well, they thought they were walking around or something.
Every night he would take her just to go hang out for a little bit while we waited for food, which was awesome. She had a good time. He loved it. But there was one night where they come back and he said, oh yeah, we went and met Minnie. And I was like, wait, you went and did a character meet and greet while we were eating? He's like, yeah.
Maddie wanted to see her, and it was so sweet.
While we were waiting for dessert. So they would go look at Christmas trees around the, deck 3 or whatever they're on. They just went and had grand adventures.
Yeah.
I don't know half the stuff. I think one time they came back with like a plush or something. I don't know. It was a lot going on. So that was awesome. She stayed entertained. We got to sit down for a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. Mm-hmm. After dropping our bags off at our stateroom, which was amazing, by the way, we ocean view with veranda. I don't like the way they named that. It was a veranda stateroom.
Right.
But they call it ocean view with veranda.
Oh.
It's too long.
I mean, I'm assuming it's an ocean view if you have a
veranda. I know. I would hope so. You got a veranda into the
wall.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a very nice room. Loved it. No complaints. We dropped our bags off, attended the muster drill, and finally made our way to deck 11 for the sail away party. This was our first time attending one.
Yes, because we normally just sit on our balcony and just kind of...
Which I would argue, if you don't have kids, the sail away party is great for little ones. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't recommend if it's a party of adults, it's a little...
Yeah, I mean, unless you guys want to have a sail away party.
Yeah, I would say stay on your balcony
and
do it the calm way. That's what we like to do. Mm-hmm. But with a little kid, it was fun.
It was great.
She had a good time.
All the Fab Fives out there, and it's just the music, and you're counting down, and you hear the horns.
Yes.
So it was fun.
It was fun. The Christmas festivities started shortly afterwards with the tree lighting ceremony in the atrium. This was super packed, so get there early if you're doing a Very Merrytime sailing. Everyone was there, and they were there early. So we kind of snuck in over by actually where the characters come out on deck 4.
Yeah, it's a stop at it is the top of the stairwell.
Yeah,
right
next to that
the
jewelry
place.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So we stood there. You didn't really get a good view of the tree, but we got a great view of the characters, which we cared about. So super magical show. Maddie loved seeing all the characters, of course, and the big man himself, Santa Claus.
That was our first time.
Mrs. Claus was there, the whole crew.
It was awesome.
She was super excited. She was clapping, loved the show. We had Enchanted Garden first for our dining and loved it as always. It's my favorite of the dining rotation.
I feel like it always has the best menu too.
It has the best menu and I just love the environment. Mm-hmm. It's so beautiful. This is where we discovered Maddie's love for bread. So they plopped down a bread basket right in front of her. She just reached out. She's never really had a roll.
No.
So I don't know. I didn't understand how she knew what to do. She went and grabbed one and just shoved it in her mouth and started going to town.
So cute. She loved her rolls.
She loved her rolls. So every night she had a piece of bread and there's crumbs everywhere. The crew were so nice.
They were so sweet.
I kept saying sorry, like she's making a mess and I try and clean it up. They were like, do not clean it. We'll clean it.
Oh, so sweet.
Very, very sweet. So she loves bread. She's a carb girl.
Hey, I don't blame her. I'm the same
She
way.
loves mac and cheese. She loves bread. What else does she like?
Oh my gosh. She does love Mexican food though.
She does rice.
Okay, yesterday we realized she loves broccoli.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, I'm so happy for her.
It's the first vegetable she likes.
She's went to town on it.
I don't blame her. Vegetables are lame. So this brings us to day 2. It was our Castaway Key Day. This was different for us. We're used to a sea day to kick off the cruise. Honestly, it's not my favorite, getting ready for an island day for day one.
No, because I feel like you just want some time to kind of relax, get lay of the land, like kind of just walk around a lot. But this was kind of like, boom, you're on the island. And we're like, okay.
And again, first time with the child. And this was, I'm not going to lie, this was a little hard. This was my first time where I was like, it's kind of hard having a baby. I'm just kidding. The sleepless nights in the beginning, very easy. This was the hard. I'm just kidding. No, this was a walk in the park compared to the early days.
Right.
But it's harder. It's the preparation, the fact that it was so stinking hot.
You guys, the heat continued.
It was so stinking. So we expected warm, right? It's Orlando, Bahamas in November. I know it's not cool there. This was really high humidity and very hot.
Well, because we originally thought that it was going to be low 80s. So I'm like, for us in California, that's really nice weather. I did not take into account the almost 90% humidity.
It was so sticky. So Matt, it was a terrible start and a terrible test of the island because Maddie was already kind of fed up just with the tram ride. It was so hot.
It was hot.
So she was a little cranky. We had these big fans on her. We're giving her water. We're doing everything we can. Caitlin had slathered her in, what do you call it? Sunscreen. That's what it's called. Sunscreen, and she has a sun hat on. So we were prepped. I mean, this girl was like shaded as much as you can.
Yeah.
But still, it's the stickiness.
Yeah, she played in the ocean for a little bit, and then we took her over. We took her over to the splash pad, and she loved it. Like, that was so fun. For those who don't know, Castaway Cay does have a little splash pad. It's kind of tucked away, tucked in there.
Yeah.
And then I did want to mention it was all fun and games until a bunch of like 12-year-olds showed up.
Yeah.
And were like just running around the area with all these like little babies.
Yeah, which was a little interesting. That I don't think their parents were around because I think they would have been like, hey, get out of there.
Well, and there's no like cast members over there, which I thought there would be.
Yeah.
For like the baby area.
So that was interesting because it just scared off a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And it's not meant for like nearly 13-year-olds. So
but highly recommend though, if you do have a little one, definitely check out the splash pad.
Yes, she loved it. Sand, not so much. So didn't love the beach part, which you know what? That's my girl.
Yeah, she just wanted to eat the rocks. And she got upset.
I'm not a beach person. I don't like the beach. Actually, the only reason I like the beach at Castaway is because it's like Disney themed.
Yeah.
If you put me on any other beach in the US or anywhere in the world, I get very bored.
Yeah.
After like 10 minutes.
We do feel that the main reason why there was kind of some give and take on that day is we do feel now looking back on this was the first day that she was starting to come down with something. We just didn't realize it yet.
Yeah.
And so I think the heat was kind of adding into that.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad now because she was probably sick.
Had no idea.
Had no idea. After lunch, actually it was a pretty good lunch.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah, cookies. We went back to the ship for Maddie's nap and called it a day. When it comes to the island. So we didn't go back to Castaway Cay. We were considering it after her nap, but we just got cleaned up because it was just a very warm day and wanted to spend some time on the ship. We met Pluto later and danced around to Christmas music in the atrium.
So fun.
You guys were just dancing away.
It was literally so much fun.
People were taking pictures with Santa Claus right next to us. You've got someone on the piano. It was just awesome.
It was great. And then every time, well, not every time, but majority of the time, they would have hot cocoa and chocolate chip cookies for everyone in the atrium.
Every single time Santa was taking pictures, there was hot cocoa and cookies.
Oh, gosh. And their hot cocoa, let me tell you, guys, it is so good. Disney hot cocoa is truly the best.
Yes. Caitlin, Maddie, and I watched around half of Aladdin and went back to the room so Maddie could get her last nap in.
She loved it, though.
She loved it. So this is the awkward thing with, going on a cruise or anything really with a baby is that you kind of have to stick to a schedule. And if that, unfortunately, sometimes happens to fall right in the middle of a show. So every night, pretty much, we would watch half the show, take her back to sleep, which we weren't too bummed. We've seen all these multiple times. So we were okay. My family stayed for the rest of it and got to enjoy the full show. We love these shows. I'm pretty sure my brother said he cried like multiple times in every single show.
Yeah.
They're all great.
They're so good.
Aladdin, Frozen, and Disney Believe are the main ones. They sprinkle in some like magicians and stuff in the middle. We never go and see those,
we don't.
to be honest. But these are just amazing shows. So went back, took her nap, and then we had Royal Court for dinner that night. This is my least favorite restaurant, not going to lie, on the rotational dining. So I never remember what I ate or the experience. Do you remember anything that night?
I liked it. The food was good here. Again, it's never a slam dunk, but it wasn't as bad as the food when we went on our baby moon. That was not good at all.
No, the fantasy. So this is my, honestly, like, we'll talk about it later on my general thoughts on the fantasy.
Yeah.
But yes, I was not impressed. This is mostly, most people you'll talk to that are Disney Cruise Line fans, the fantasy tends to be their favorite ship.
Yeah.
Or like the Wonder. So it's either the smaller ship or the fantasy. I wasn't super impressed our first go around, which was last July. This time, much better.
And I definitely would have to say that the original time that we went for our baby moon, we had some hiccups with the serving team that we had, and there was just a couple other things going on that
true.
might have played a role
Miscommunications.
in it. But the food was not, when you come from the Wonder and you go to the Fantasy, the food is just not as good.
Yeah. The Wonder was life-changing, to be honest. Fantasy was decent. So next morning, this brings us to day 3, which was our sea day. This is our day at sea. These are my favorite because they have a lot of programming on the ship. And I just love, that's why I pay so much, honestly, for Disney Cruise Line, is because I love their ships. I love the Disney theming. I love the Disney part of it. So that's where I thrive. So this is sea day. Royal Court for breakfast. Maddie tried Mickey waffles for the first time, and she fell in love.
You guys, it was so sweet. She just picked them and just started going to town.
Oh, she loved them.
It was just so sweet. And again, I've been waiting for that moment just for so long, because when we went to Disneyland last, she was way too little to like have Mickey waffles and all that kind of stuff. So like this was like the first time. And again, she did have a little nibble at like at Epcot, but it was one of those things where this was the first time she had like a big old.
Yeah, we actually gave it to her. So we felt a little more comfortable. We were like a couple days away from her real first birthday. We let her celebrate a little early because she was going to miss most of the fun of eating sugar and stuff on a Disney cruise ship. So this was where you first actually plopped down a full waffle. Yeah. And she went to town.
She loved it.
She loved
it. Fun.
We rushed to get ready afterwards for our reservation for the Princess Meet and Greet. I know there's an official name. I always forget it. But we booked this days leading up to the sailing.
And I'm glad we did, because it sold out.
It sold out. It was sold out. We didn't pay for it. It's free. But it ran out.
The reservations ran out.
Yeah, reservations ran out. We met Belle, Cinderella, Tiana, and Mulan. And all the while, Maddie was rocking her Tiana dress.
Oh my gosh.
That her uncle and uncle's girlfriend bought for her before the trip. And she was in heaven.
You guys, it was so sweet, little Tiana dress. And she had on like little pink and white checkered bands. And it was just, if you have littles, I highly recommend like the meet and greets. Like not even just the princesses, but just the characters. It is so like just worth the wait. And it's so rewarding. They take so much time with all the little ones, whether you're a kid or you're an adult. Yeah. It's not like go like the parks. Like it's great. So I highly recommend. Maddie loved the princesses. She was obsessed with Belle.
Loved Belle. And we saw her multiple times, and she had her fun Christmas dress on, by the way.
She did, yeah.
And she was awesome. Every single time she saw Maddie, she would like stop and wave or at least smile or say something to her, roaming the halls. So that was awesome. Yeah. So after a day filled with trivia, eating, and more meet and greets, we went to the Top Deck for the holiday deck party. Actually, before we talk about this, my family did attend the, what was it called? Diaper Dash?
Yes.
So we love this. We go every single time, except for this time. Of course, Maddie's nap fell right where the Diaper Dash is supposed to be, which is okay. Yeah. I've seen it a million times. But I got to see the reaction. I had to go to guest services for some reason. So you were in the room with Maddie. I went to guest services, and I peeked up, and I saw them watching, and they were having the time of their lives.
Seriously, it's such a fun show.
And I know it was a highlight. I asked them later, and they said that was one of the best parts of the cruise. So it's just a fun thing. The concept's hilarious because you're like, is that legal? Can you race babies? You can. Out in the international waters, you can race babies. So that was fun. The holiday deck party. Everyone loved this one.
You guys, it was awesome.
It was so fun. Fun music. It was cool outside. They had snow.
The theming was very retro too. So it was kind of like old Disney. Like I loved it. Yeah. It was so good.
Super fun. So worth it. Kind of dealing with the crowds to watch that one. We celebrated Maddie's birthday this night at Animator's Palette. Like we mentioned, we wanted to celebrate early and not do it like on the last night. It's kind of lame. Yeah. So we did it right smack dab in the middle of the cruise so she can enjoy some fun treats throughout the cruise. This was okay. I'm kind of regretting we found a birthday cupcake in Sweet on You. Is that what it's called? Yes. So which is the sweet shop over by Cabanas. This is where you can kind of pay for stuff. I was going to buy that, but then I saw another party in our dining room get that delivered to their table for their birthday. Right. So my assumption was that's what they use for little kids for their birthday. That's not true. I should have just bought it.
Because we asked our server, like, hey, can we get a cupcake just for her birthday? And he's like, yeah.
So we ended up bringing out like this very chocolate ganache cake.
It was a fudge, like a wet fudge cake.
So yeah, the top layer is like this wet.
It was everywhere. Like, which again, that's not a problem. Like, obviously that's what they're supposed to do, but it wasn't like, she was just, again, she's never had.
It wasn't a little kid cake either. Like it was kind of like
there was
elevated.
Like chocolate rolls on it. It was kind of just odd. But.
So my mistake, but she didn't love it. She just kind of wiped her hands in it and made a huge mess.
She was playing in it, which was super cute for pictures.
And then kind of licked her fingers a couple times, but she was done.
Yeah. And it was rich. Yes. So it wasn't just kind of like, it wasn't probably the best intro, but again, memories. So that doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
We just had to wash her clothes afterwards because it was everywhere.
So worth it though.
All right, we ended the night with some sleep, some
We did.
well-deserved sleep, and then we woke up to Lighthouse Point. This is day 4. We were really looking forward to this day, but I think at this point we realized Maddie was coming down with something, and we made the executive decision to let her sleep in. So she slept till like 10:30 that morning. So I think we skipped breakfast. We woke up and made our way over to the island around 11 a.m. just to give you an idea of what how late it was in the day.
Yeah.
And how unmotivated we were to kind of like see too much of it. I think our expectations were really low. We knew she was getting sick, and we knew the weather of Castaway Cay a couple days previous. So we were like, you know what? If we get off and just look around, we'll be happy.
And what we've heard about the island wasn't very good. So we were kind of just like, honestly, we were kind of like, do we even want to get off? And we were probably like, we have to get off. We've never been.
Yeah,
so
we almost stayed on, but then we were like, this is silly. Let's get off. We did the walk. I'm going to say this. Let me tell you. So everyone's talked about, if you're not aware, there is a long pier they built for this island experience. It's very long. I don't know the exact length. I know it takes about 15 to 20 minutes maybe to walk it. That's a long walk. We were very lucky that day. It was windy and a little overcast.
The weather was great.
So it wasn't very hot. But I can't tell you how many crew members told us when we got back on the ship, you are lucky you didn't burn up out there, because most of the time it is deathly hot and that walk is terrible. Even crew members volunteered this information. I didn't ask them. They volunteered that walk is terrible. So I'm a little like in the camp of, it's absolutely doable if you're a 25-year-old healthy adult. It's very easy. But for people that have mobility, issues, for young kids, people with with babies, with toddlers, the elderly, that's a haul, man.
Yeah.
Especially, it's not even about the length. It's uncovered. There's no shade whatsoever, and you're just exposed to the elements the entire time. It did dump rain on the way back, but I don't know. I think it was silly that Disney didn't build a tram system to accommodate. I understand wanting to build it far away to save the reef and stuff. I get that. Conservation, 100% agree. But I think they should have built a tram deal.
Yeah. So currently, if you are not aware, they do have like 2 to 3 golf carts going right now. And then they also said, which you've seen on multiple videos, that if you do have little ones, that they would have like these little red wagons right when you get off the ship that you can put your kiddos in, you can put your stuff in. Those were not there.
No, they weren't. I think they were all, it was 11 a.m. So I
Yes.
think everyone had taken them. And yes, the golf carts are for people that need them. If you request them, they'll do it. So whether it's kids, whether it's, again, mobility issues, whether elderly, you can take these golf carts, which makes it a lot easier. But it's silly that it's like kind of an opt-in thing and not automatically everyone gets that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
One thing I wanted to mention is the golf carts are a little
sketch.
crazy.
So we're walking, and this person a couple times veers out of the lane to kind of pass some people and came pretty close, like uncomfortably close to nicking one of us. So I got a little upset, not gonna lie. I didn't yell at anybody, but it was if someone does that again, I will be...
And they're honking at people.
Yes,
down the pier.
talking to somebody in a tone in which I didn't want to get into on my Disney vacation. I'm just kidding.
It was weird because imagine it's a 2-lane little like pier, right? And it's very tight. It's not like a really wide road. Like it's none of that. So when these golf carts, you would think, oh, they're going to be on one side. No. So they're switching back and forth through people because, again, people are walking to and from the ship to the island.
Yeah, so left and right.
So these golf carts are literally swerving through people. They're not going slow. They're flying.
Yeah, so that was not cool.
So
I didn't find that to be appropriate for... There's kids walking. That was insane.
It was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people giving some pretty mean looks and glares at these drivers because you're like, that's not cool. So that was interesting. We didn't stay on the island very long since, again, like you mentioned, Maddie was not feeling 100%. But for the very short time we were there, we actually enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot.
I went in with low expectations. A lot of Disney Cruise Line fans kind of diss on this island. It doesn't feel like Castaway Cay, blah, blah, blah. They're right. It does not feel like Castaway Cay. It's a very different experience. I think that was intentional. And the one knock on it I'm going to give it is, number one, the walk. Number two, I will say the buildings felt like initially they were supposed to be these grand, cool themed buildings. And then the budget was slashed at some point. So they're kind of like rectangles with a little window in them. And it looks like
for like the food area?
The food areas.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, it just looks like not at all good. I mean, like you look at Castaway Cay buildings. Honestly, you look at Coco Cay, or Coco Cay, whatever they call it, at Royal. They have really cool, really well designed buildings, and it's very themed. These ones are themed kind of, but then when you look at it, you're like, not really.
Yeah.
It's just it's a box. So I don't know. I felt like that was kind of lame. Again, I'm kind of nitpicky. The rest of it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
I have one more thing too.
Oh, sorry.
So the splash pad that they have on there
Oh,
looks
yeah.
absolutely incredible. It's like there's all these slides, obviously splash like water things everywhere. I think you have to be 2 or 3 in order to go over there, which
Yeah.
is a really big bummer because I'm like, the whole premise of a splash pad is for like little kids.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't have the option for like kids with swim diapers. You cannot use the splash pad, which again makes sense for a swimming pool, but an above ground water flowing situation
Isn't that
doesn't
weird?
make a ton of sense.
So
to
that
me.
was it. She couldn't, other than the beach, that was pretty much it. So that was kind of a bummer because I'm like, she just really enjoyed the splash pad area on Castaway Key. But as Kayla mentioned, there was very few things that we were like, this island could do better.
No,
Like,
no,
it
the
was
beach was stunning.
And I
Like,
loved the raised walkways.
yeah, that was cool.
And like there was like sand everywhere. It just looked like you were on like an actual island. Like it was very pretty. And I have to admit, I really enjoyed that it wasn't like Castaway Key.
Yeah,
It was just kind of like a new experience. Like, okay, this is new. Again, it's not in your face Disney, which again, I prefer that. Not a lot of people do, but there are elements. But again, at the end of the day, when you look at the beauty of the island, it's absolutely stunning.
yes, and I think my argument for the not a lot of Disney thing on there, I go, hey, you're paying a premium to be on a Disney cruise line. Everyone knows they're like double, a Royal Caribbean experience on average, right? It's expensive to get on those cruise ships. So you're paying for that theme. I mean, like I like Disney. That's why I pay that money. So it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of Disney on
Yeah,
the
'cause
island, just a little bit.
They wanted just more of the bohemian like feel there, which I totally understand. And again, we'll get into some of the things that we got to experience that we really liked.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a really good experience. Everyone that was knocking on it, I don't understand why you were
Yeah.
knocking on it.
I think
but
one other, sorry, I'm like, no other negative things to talk about. I've got one other thing. The flies were still there. They're still a problem.
yes,
They're
I
not
also
as
read about
bad.
that.
Yeah, not even close to what it was back when they first opened. That
Mm-hmm.
was like, it looked like a movie. It was disgusting. There was still enough to where I'm like, nah, I'm not going to eat
They
here.
were not in the eating areas where you would sit down. They were only where the food was.
Where
when
they're
you're
serving.
That was it.
So it was just enough that we didn't want it. None of my family ate on the island because they just weren't comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And it just looked kind of gross.
Mhm.
So I don't want flies on my food. I don't think it would be acceptable in a restaurant. So I don't understand how people are making excuses or giving room like, oh, it's okay, Disney, it is what it is. You're outside. What do you expect? I expect some control.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
You're paying a lot of money. So I'd expect them to kind of figure it out. So hopefully they have it figured out in the next couple months, but it looks like they're a little closer than they were before. And then finally, the Junkanoo celebration. We got off and rushed over there to make sure we attended this.
Mhm.
It was fun. I don't think it's a must-see. I think it's a ton of fun, though. We enjoyed it. I didn't feel like we wasted time. They came out and for 10 minutes did this kind of music celebration thing and then walked off.
That's
And it was cool.
If you're there, definitely look at it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rush across the island for
No.
it.
But Mickey and Minnie were there. They were dancing.
It's so fun.
Kids were dancing around.
Mhm.
So it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a good time. What else did we do?
The
We went-
fun started when we got back on the ship because we decided to go eat at Flo's, which is on the top deck, which we love eating at Flo's. And then we took Maddie to the splash pad.
Yes, which is Finding Nemo theme.
Yes.
It was awesome. Maddie took a little bit of time to warm up to it. In the very beginning, she was kind of like,
Well, the water was freezing.
It was freezing. It doesn't feel like it's heated at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it is. So it was very, very cold. But after she got used to the water, kind of got
loved
used to
it.
it spraying, she loved it.
Mhm.
So she had some fun with us in there for, 20, 30 minutes. And then my parents came over and joined us and watched her while me and you went on the aqueduct.
It was so much fun.
It's been a while since we've been on. Last time we went on a cruise, which was last July, you could not go on it because you were pregnant.
Yes.
And then
And I was very bummed.
Yes.
I was like, please let me on.
and then the previous one we didn't because we were on the Disney Wonder.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's been years.
Yes.
Since we've been on it. So
Ugh.
it's fun. It's not a huge thrill. Don't expect like, your local your local water park definitely has more exciting
Yeah.
water slides and stuff. But this is fun enough to where it's totally worth going and waiting
I
15,
loved
20
it.
minutes.
And it's just the best memories.
Yes.
good.
So she had a good time with my parents. She hung out on the splash pad with them and watched us go down that slide. And then we also had another amazing night at Enchanted Garden. Love this restaurant, man.
It's so good.
It's so good. Every single time it's a hit. The food is really good. And end of the night with Pirate Night and fireworks.
So normally we're not the biggest fans of Pirate Night, aka the menu. For those who have not been on Disney Cruise Line, Pirate Night's menu is not the best unless you are a seafood fanatic. It's very seafood heavy, which Caleb and I are not.
I'll eat sea bass and like salmon, and that's it. That's where I
Yeah.
draw the line.
So we were kind of like, Okay. But we decided to dress up a little bit for pirate night, and then with the bandanas, the whole thing. We did the show with Maddie, and let me tell you, it was probably a core memory for me. I don't know for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Being on the deck, and we were all around Maddie. We were singing like the pirate songs that they were doing and dancing. It was just Caleb's dad got him like a video of us doing it with Maddie, and I probably watched it 700 times already, just because it's one of those things where it's the little things like that truly make your vacation just
the entire family surrounding her. We're all singing, we're all dancing. She's having a blast. She's shaking her hands up and down,
and clapping.
We all call it shaking her booty, because she just kind of like
she just whips around.
Yeah, whips around on your, when you're holding her. So it was just a blast. She had a fun time, and then the fireworks started, which just ends the night. Fireworks on the ocean is just insane. It's just a really cool experience. She loved them. She wasn't scared at all.
No.
And I will say this, for people that are concerned about, fireworks scaring kids, these are way quieter than normal fireworks. These are like low altitude fireworks, so there's not as much gunpowder in them, and they just pop really silently.
Yeah.
So she was not scared whatsoever.
They did it on the opposite side this time, which was a kind of a switch up.
Yeah, I'm almost positive they do it on starboard every time that we've watched, but they did it on port side. Correct me if I'm wrong. People like the DCL duo have been on like 87 cruises. You probably know like the back of your hand if that's false or not, but almost positive that they switched the sides this time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a wind thing, or maybe I'm just making it up in my head. But that was that.
Let's get to day 5.
Let's get to day 5. That brings us to Nassau Day. We treat Nassau Day like a sea day. We stay on that ship. We take advantage of the very few people that get off. I think all the families have caught on that it's not really worth getting off, to be honest.
If you get off, that's totally fine.
Yeah, if you go to like Atlantis and stuff, that stuff's fun.
Yeah.
But everywhere else is, I don't know. Probably not worth getting off. So we enjoy the ship some more. And we started this morning off with one of the highlights of the trip, and that is the Churro Mickey waffles.
You guys.
They're life-changing. Life-changing.
They're so good.
They're very good. They're at Cabanas. So the normal, non-gluten-free people all went and just got in the line, and then us gluten-free people had pre-ordered this with our server. So we just kind of let someone know, and we only waited 10 minutes, and they brought them out.
At all.
They were piping hot. They were delicious, and again, changed our lives again.
Yes.
We ate at, what else did we do? Oh, we just hung out.
We just had a normal day.
Yeah.
Walked around a lot.
We did a lot of
trivia.
I'm not going to bore you with the details, but we did a lot of trivia this trip with family.
Character meet and greets.
Yep. And just kind of sitting down and talking and getting a coffee, catching up. So really good time.
Yeah.
We ended the night at Royal Court.
This is where things took an unfortunate turn.
Very, 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 very unfortunate. So if you've made it this far, let's talk about this. So Disney, in my personal opinion, is one of the best companies to work with when it comes to allergies. I have never in my life had a negative reaction to the food I've eaten at a Disney park, on a Disney cruise, you name it, Disney World, Disneyland. We've done it all. Never had a negative reaction. That's why I love them so much, is because I pay all this money to feel comfortable for a week, because they do such a good job. Well, it changed.
Yeah.
So we had, I had ordered a gluten-free version of the crusted Parmesan chicken with pasta and a glass of wine.
And before you dive in really quickly, I want to set the kind of just the stage here.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
This night, we waited over an hour for our food. We've been waiting, the whole entire table did not get their food. And we were kind of like, what's going on? Like, we haven't got our food yet. We're not saying anything because we're not the people that are like, hey, where's our food? And there was also a time where were you there for the drink situation that happened?
No, I wasn't. I had walked up late for some reason. I think we had forgotten something in the room. Yeah.
So our serving team was obviously doing a great job. Well, is he the head server, the one that's in the white jacket?
Yeah, the white jacket.
So he came over and noticed that a couple of the glasses weren't filled with soda or Diet Coke, whatever you guys were drinking.
Yeah, and let me be clear here. We're probably one of the, we're not very demanding cruisers, so we weren't bothered by this at all.
No, he basically was like, "Hey, do you want some more soda?" And we're like, "They're like, yeah." He's like, "Oh man, basically, I'm sorry that hasn't been refilled. It's just sitting here." And we're like, "Oh, it's not a big deal. No problem."
Yeah.
So you can tell he takes it upon himself to go fill it up. Well, we see him talking to our team, and it was not
a good conversation,
which was really awkward because he was doing it in front of people. So you could tell that the night kind of turned after that. Our team wasn't as super exciting. They weren't happy.
Very stressed.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got filled in when I showed up, and I can kind of sense it was awkward.
Someone got in trouble, and we're kind of no one needed to get in trouble in this situation.
We're good, man.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're good. We can go 5 minutes without Diet Coke. So that was a little awkward. Then here we go ordering our food. We wait a very long time. We're kind of like, what's going on? Our server comes out and says, hey, I just want to let you know, I went and asked where your food's at. There was a mix up with the gluten-free. They're fixing it and we should be done soon. That should have been the sign right there that I probably should have skipped dinner that night, whatever. Let me inform you, my brother had something different. My mom had ordered the same as me.
Yes.
Okay, so she got the same chicken. My brother got something else, I forgot. And then
It was like tofu?
risotto or tofu.
Risotto.
Was it risotto or tofu?
I don't remember. It was one of the two.
He's an adventurous eater.
I know he did get risotto because he said it was the best risotto he's ever had.
Yeah. So he had a good time. Also, they went to, I got to mention this really quick while we're talking about my brother. Him and his girlfriend went to Palo.
Loved it.
Had an amazing time as always. I was like telling him, describe how it tasted because I missed it so much. Tell me how it felt when you bit into that beautiful pasta.
We had a reservation, but it ended up being for the last night at like 8 p.m. And I was like, that's not going to work.
No. So anyways, let's get back to the gluten story. We ate our food thinking it was fine and gluten-free, and they said they were fixing it. I had my wine. It was delicious, whatever.
Ours was cold.
Yeah.
So the non-allergy ones wasn't.
So clearly you guys were just sitting out waiting for us to get done, which I felt bad. And I was very, very sick that night. Very sick.
Yeah.
And it was not good. And I only tell you that I had wine because it just looked like a crime scene.
We're not going to go into details. Yeah.
Sorry. But it was just not a pleasant evening for me. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning. I woke up and I was like, I feel deathly sick. It's the exact feeling I get when I'll call it glutened. When I eat gluten, I feel like I get hit by a truck. I feel like I've eaten 12 meals. My body literally like bloats up.
Yeah.
Like I feel huge. Got very sick, and I'm like, I got glutened on a Disney cruise. It's never happened. In the meantime, apparently my mom had felt the same way, had stayed up half the night, feeling very, very sick. So we connect the next day saying, I can't believe I got sick. Of course, I felt fine. I wasn't actually sick with a virus or anything. This was a gluten problem. So woke up the next morning feeling much better. And
which for those who don't know, Caleb's had this since he got diagnosed when he was 16. So for you guys that are probably like, okay, like what is that like? Like, you know, when he knows exactly what it feels like if he has cross-contamination and gluten got on his plate. It's very different than like being ill from like a stomach bug. So for example, if Caleb gets super sick, he has gluten, he's sick for about a couple hours until he is sick. And then he's down for the count. He's like wiped out. He feels like he got hit by a truck and usually just sleeps. So that's usually, and then the next morning, it's like nothing happened. So again, for those who are like, well, you probably just feel better, like it's fine. It's still not good for him and his mom to have that in their system. It's very damaging internally. So the fact that it's happening on a Disney, it's not good.
Not good at all. So not happy. We met up the next day. I don't know if it was breakfast or lunch, and I just said, hey, I can't believe I got sick last night. I think it was the food. And my mom immediately was like, oh my gosh, I felt terrible. So we started talking about it. And we just kind of went, oh my gosh, I think we got there must have been cross-contamination or there was straight up gluten in our food. Yeah. So that was probably the mix-up. Maybe the kitchen didn't fix it, put out the plate that was gluten or something. I don't know. So that was the first time. That was not cool. I should have mentioned, I did fill out the survey. When you get home, they send you a home survey, not the one on the ship, but the one you fill out like within 72 hours of getting home. Yeah. I did let them know what happened, inform them, and said this is the first time it's ever happened. I'm usually very confident eating with Disney, but this has kind of rattled that a little bit.
Well, especially when we tell you guys like Disney's great with allergy. I'm like,
so this is the first time it's ever happened. So I'll just tell you this. I've been going to Disney since I was, 11 years old. And this is the first time it's ever happened. So I'll just let you know out of, whatever, I'm old now. It's been 19 years. It's the first time it's ever happened with Disney. So it's very slim chance, but it happens, and it's very unfortunate. So that happened. All right, let's move on to fun and better things, and we got to wrap this up. It's been nearly an hour. Castaway Cay, day 6. This is our double dip. We did 2 trips to Castaway Cay. We actually stayed on the ship. None of my family was like up for another beach adventure. It just kind of zaps the energy out of you, and we just wanted some more time as a family on the ship. So we spent a ton of time hanging out on the ship, and it was very empty because most folks were off at Castaway. Yeah,
so again, a lot of trivia, a lot of character meet and greets, a lot of just walking around, and it's just so much fun.
So much fun. So another notable thing, we were supposed to get a couples massage together that day. Unfortunately, Maddie had definitely caught something at this point and was kind of in the middle of it. And so Caitlin was like, hey, I'm going to hang out with her. You go instead. I tried canceling it, but they have a 24-hour cancellation policy, which I get. I'm not upset about it. But they were kind enough to switch it to just a single massage. So I went and did it. I felt terrible leaving you.
Oh, no.
We were supposed to do it together.
I just could tell something was off.
But let me tell you. Yeah, you got the mom instinct, man.
Like, yeah. I was very surprised. That was the first time
you just said, I can tell Maddie is sick. I'm just going to let her sleep and I'll let you know. Sure enough, she woke up and she just,
You just see it. Because he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, I don't know. I just have a weird feeling. Like I shouldn't. Because Caleb's brother and his girlfriend were going to watch Maddie. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Because I'm like, I just feel like something's off. And then
Sure enough.
But I wanted to mention one thing before this massage happened. You forgot to talk about bingo.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
We played bingo. I'm sorry. So I'm almost positive this was the first time I've played bingo on a cruise ship. Caitlin is convinced we played it on the Wonder in our Alaska sailing. I don't remember that.
Or maybe we just sat in there.
Maybe we sat and watched.
Okay.
I'm usually not the type that wants to like, I don't know, bingo's not really like gambling. I don't know, I kind of feel like it is. But anyways, I'm usually like, hey, I already spent enough. I'm not spending more on the ship.
Yeah.
So I usually don't play. But this time I'm like, we're with family. Let's all do it. My brother and his girlfriend were going to play. Let's just go play. So I put up $50 or something for the iPad version.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never played bingo. And I was like, what's the thing that does it for me? I'll pay up for that.
Yeah.
So did that, sat down, didn't think anything of it. People are winning around me. And sure enough,
he won.
I won.
It was so fun.
I had to split it with like 4 people though. But still. I walked away with like $150. I was happy.
Oh my goodness.
But it was a good time. So we won at bingo. And Maddie was very excited.
Back to your massage.
Yeah, back to my massage. So went and got my massage again. Like always, these things, I'm not going to lie, they're very expensive. You get sticker shock when you see them. It's like $160 or something for a 50-minute massage. That is absurd.
Plus tip.
Yes. So this is a very expensive experience, but let me tell you, they're so good. And I'm a massage connoisseur. I go a lot at home to different places and spas and stuff. They're always amazing. So I love when Caitlin pushes me to get one.
He's always like, I don't want to. I'm like, Caleb, stop.
So it's very good. You can, just a little tip here and then we'll move on. You can stack discounts. So on port days, all the spa services are discounted 10%. And then if you have the Disney Visa card, you get an additional 10% off. So I got 20% off that massage. So just a little tip there. Let's talk about, what are we talking about? Went and got my massage. It was amazing. My brother and his girlfriend got a massage earlier that week. They loved it so much, they got another one that day. So they had 2 massages. Fancy. Must be nice. If you're listening, let me know how you do it, guys. On my way back to our room, I saw a medevac helicopter, taking someone away. That's terrifying. I hope whoever was in there is okay and doing well. But it was insane seeing a helicopter land and take off at Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
So props to the team that took care of that.
Quick response.
Very quick response. Very scary. So whoever was in there, I hope you're doing well. After more trivia and hanging around the ship, you went to Disney Believe.
You guys, such a good show.
This, I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to let you know in the show. This one made me get a little choked up.
Okay, I did. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear it, skip forward like a minute. But basically, it's all about a dad and this daughter, and basically how like the dad doesn't have any magic, and his daughter's just growing up before his eyes, and he's not paying attention because he's super into work.
Yeah, he's super into work. He's busy, and she just wants to play with him, and he's like, I don't have time for you.
Yes, all these Disney things are incorporated, all these songs that teach him lessons about...
The genie's taking him through a life journey.
Yeah, just basically how important just being around the relationship is. And it got to at the end where it shows her like all grown up and dancing with this guy, and I was like...
Yeah, it just gets you. And again, normally, I'm always like, cheese ball show, and I like it, but I'm just kind of like, it doesn't affect me at all. This time, now having a daughter, I was like, oh my gosh.
I know.
And it was her first birthday, and I'm just like, she's gonna grow up. Ugh. So it hit me a little harder than usual. So of course, my family's all, my brother's like, oh my God, it was beautiful.
So good. And Maddie loved the songs.
She loved the songs.
I had her on my knees. We were sitting there and she was just jumping up and down. She was clapping.
She loved it.
It was so, so fun to see that.
Yeah. We had our final dinner at Animator's Palette that night where they did the animation show where you can draw a character and they animate it on the screen for you. Mm-hmm. So much fun. And we loved it.
Yeah.
Good food.
That's great.
Didn't get glutened. So that was a good improvement there. End of the night with the See You Real Soon show. This is where something they do in the atrium. It's a little 15-minute deal where all the characters go up and they say, see you real soon. And they basically, guilt the parents into booking another trip because their kids are crying.
But did it work?
And Mickey's like, well, see you real soon.
And it works every time.
A year.
Like a charm.
I know. And I was like, you got it, Mickey. And I was booking one while I'm crying. It works every time. So that was the end of it. Let's talk about travel day. We skipped breakfast because we didn't want to get up very early. Woke up. We all met in front of the Walt Disney Theater. All of us.
We had birthday festivities.
Oh, I'm sorry. Caitlin was kind enough and amazing.
Because this was Maddie's actual birthday.
Yes. So Caitlin had mom guilt of I can't believe we're traveling on her real birthday. And I'm like, Caitlin, we can't plan these things. We can't tell Disney to shift the cruise because she was born a few days later than we thought she was. So I'm like crying because she's like, oh, I feel so bad. So she had brought on a happy birthday banner. We had bought her a gift on the cruise ship. She had brought a gift bag from home and tissue paper to pack this gift or wrap it. So we wanted to do it the morning of her birthday before the hecticness of getting home.
Yeah, so we did all that.
No, poor thing. Let me just talk about it. She wakes up. We sing her happy birthday. Mind you, she is just waking up. Sing her happy birthday and say, happy birthday, Maddie. We love you. And she just starts crying. She's so sick.
This is the day where this is like, she's in it.
She is in it.
Yeah.
I felt terrible. We pack the room up. We meet the family. We get all our bags. We walk off together. And we get to our away we go van. Again, another amazing driver. He was so sweet. Talked to my dad the whole time on the way back to the airport. And this is where Maddie struggled so hard. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
But she was struggling on that flight home. Again, it's a long journey, guys, to get from Orlando to Sacramento. And she struggled.
Yeah. And if you heard our part 1 of this trip, you realize like I'm not kidding and I'm not just telling you this. She is an angel baby. Like she is very, very calm. She loves to play. She'll just sit with you and talk and she'll play with toys. She's great. She's not one of those that like throws tantrums. Like she just doesn't do that. So on the way home, it literally broke my heart in two because as a parent, like sitting there going, she was super congested. Her ears were clogged. She's crying because she's in pain. I can't do anything. Like it was really hard.
It was hard.
Yeah, again, you can just tell she's crying because she's hurting. So it was really difficult. Again, not just for us, but just seeing her that way.
Yeah.
And again, just trying to get her comfortable. Because again, you can't give them medicine at this age. She's too little. So we're just trying to get home. Again, after we finally got her to sleep, she felt a smidge better. But again, getting home, it was hard. And like Caleb mentioned, that flight is just ridiculously long.
It's long. And she just wanted my dad half the time. He was sitting across the aisle from us.
I know.
She loves Pop-Pop.
She loves her Pop-Pop.
She kept raising her hands up and saying like, can we do something? So he would kind of like walk up and down the aisle. And if you know, you're not really supposed to like walk around the plane a lot.
Yeah.
So I know the flight, he's trying to be sensitive to that. And so they did that a little bit, but then, at some point it was like, hey, you have to sit down, sit with your mom and dad. So I just felt terrible. You could tell she was like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to be with him.
She's like, I don't feel well.
Yeah.
And
so anyway. She's sick. So it was a pain getting home. And also to top it all off, United broke our stroller.
Our stroller was great.
Yeah. Took it out a few days later to go grocery shopping and the wheel fell off. And
our stroller hook's
broken. They managed to mangle that thing. So I'm dealing with insurance and stuff to figure that out. Buy trip insurance, guys. It comes in handy. Let's talk about our key takeaways.
Yeah.
Really quickly. Let's go down this list very, very quickly because we have to wrap this up. Family will spoil your kid rotten, especially if they're the first grandkid. Let me tell you, love family. We love them to death. They treated Maddie like a princess the entire time. They always do.
So
but
sweet.
Especially on this trip, they just spoiled her rotten. She came home with Pluto, Stitch, bath toys, a elf mini, Christmas light things, a bubble wand, literally a bag full of merchandise. They just, and every single night, my brother and his girlfriend would come knock on the door and be like, surprise, and, give her something else.
Sweet.
My dad would walk in a store and just walk out with something for Maddie.
Yeah.
So again, not complaining. This was amazing. And she felt, we felt the love and she felt it. But just accommodate, guys. Bring an extra
suitcase.
Bring an extra suitcase for merch because you'll need it.
Or use your Castaway Key bag that we use.
Yes, that's what we use.
That's what we use. Literally, all the merch was in there for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
The parks are harder logistically with a baby compared to the cruise. We learned this. Epcot wasn't super hard. It wasn't like a terror, but it's definitely harder to accommodate naps and stuff at the parks than on the cruise line. So if you've got a small baby, if you've got a toddler, my personal opinion is the best way to experience Disney magic, but also get around some of that stress is to go on a cruise.
Yeah, I think it's way better just because there's just the size of Disney World. It's so big.
Yeah.
That it's not as easy as just walking around like a 20-minute thing at Disneyland. So.
And I would even argue Disneyland. Like Disneyland can be kind of hard and hustle and bustle for people that can't go all the time. Like,
yes.
We're very lucky we get to go
very
often.
True. Mm-hmm.
People that want to to squeeze in everything in 3 days because it's ungodly expensive now. It's hard. And you feel more stressed, I think, leaving than I don't know. So I think
we definitely recommend cruising if you have little ones.
At this stage of life. Mm-hmm. Yes. The trip to and from Orlando was rough, like we've mentioned, and we're just going to, I think, pay up if there's one available for a direct flight.
Yeah.
So if you live far away from Port Canaveral, guys, or wherever you're cruising from, if you can save the extra month or two or what have you, if it's possible in the budget, pay for a direct flight because
Yeah.
that layover adds another 2 hours to your day,
Mhm.
and you just want to get there as fast as possible.
Exactly.
So, having help from Maddie, from Maddie. She helped, I guess, in certain ways.
She did.
Having help from family was extremely nice. Dinner taking too long, someone will take Maddie to look around. Too hot for outside, family took her inside and in shade and helped with her. So if you're considering bringing family, if you're doing a family trip, just know that it is amazing.
It is.
It's really nice.
I highly recommend.
Highly recommend. This was everyone else's first DCL experience. Like I mentioned, my parents have been on many Royal Caribbean cruise experiences. My brothers have never been on one, and they had a great time.
They loved it.
My middle brother, who's a little older, he booked a placeholder, and I think they're planning some grand adventure together.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest is actively looking to see if he can swing one with his friends. They're stupid expensive. So if you're younger in college and stuff, this is really hard to pull off. So I'm hoping to find him one that we can get him on because just everyone's now addicted.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yes, I loved it. Maybe we can arrange something to get their impressions and get them on the show.
Ooh.
We'll figure it out. That's a lot. It's like herding cats with these people. So we'll figure out if we can make this work. And then finally, this is Maddie's newest obsession. She watches the Shimmering Seas promo video on YouTube. It's a 3-minute commercial, basically.
You guys, she's obsessed.
She watches it over and over again.
Every time we mention the cruise, big smile on her face.
She wants to look at pictures from the cruise. She'll say she signs more for us.
Oh my gosh.
And she watches videos of it as well. And she just she loved it, every minute of it. So if you want to guarantee the Disney money vacuum to take all of your money, this is the way, because let me tell you, I walked off that ship with our placeholder, and within a week, we converted it to a real sailing.
We did.
And let's announce, we're going on the Disney Treasure.
Oh my gosh, in 2025 or 2026.
You messed it up. It's 2026. It's okay.
I mean, I wish it was 2026.
I know. We're going early 2026.
Yes.
On that Disney Treasure. So I'm not going to lie. The first time we priced this out, I was like, there's no way I'm paying that much to cruise on this new ship. But the more stuff we saw, the more videos coming out from content creators, the more announcements from Disney, I'm like, I'm going to pay whatever I need to.
And honestly, at the end of the day, Maddie's obsession with Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it took.
That's all it took. So she just needed to look at me with those eyes and just smile. And I was like, we're going.
We're going. I'm so excited.
So we're very much looking forward to this. We keep telling Maddie, just wait. When you're 2, you're going to go on another one.
I know.
So we're all excited. That was that. Okay. If you're lucky enough, if you stuck around this long, you get a little surprise here. I think right now, let's insert a clip of Maddie's thoughts on the cruise.
Okay.
She's a tough get, so we'll see if we can get her scheduled.
If not, we'll take this part out.
Yeah. But if we nailed it down, right now we'll enter the clip now. All right. We are here with Miss Maddie. Thank you for joining us, Maddie. Oh, yeah?
Say hi, Daddy.
You say hi, Dada? Oh, hi.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our trip.
Yeah. So can I ask you some questions about the cruise? She's scratching the mic right now. I love how she gets quiet when we have a mic in front of her face, but she's very loud other times. Okay, can I ask you, what was your favorite part of the cruise? Did you like seeing Pluto? Nothing? Okay. Did you like seeing Belle and Ariel? Did you see Ariel? I don't know if you saw Ariel. Yeah? You like that? That's good. Did you like seeing Mama? Did you have fun with Mama? Can you say Mama? She's waving. What's the matter? Can you?
I think she might want to sit with Daddy.
Okay. Do you want to come over here? All right. Let's take a pause and we'll come back. Okay.
Second. Hold on. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We switched seats. Maddie, do you want to talk about our trip on the cruise? Did you go in the splash pad and go swimming? Yeah. Did you have fun? Yeah. Did you see Mickey Mouse? She's looking at Caleb.
Did you see Pop Pop?
Yeah. And your Mimi was there? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you looking forward to the Disney Treasure? What? Say it again. Oh, okay. Good.
You're ready for it?
Can you say fa la 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 la? Good job.
Good job.
That is a good job. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I'm sure people will love.
What?
Okay.
Oh, are you
Oh,
saying hi? Oh, big yawn.
big yawn.
Okay.
We just woke up from a nap. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it. And we look forward to our next Disney cruise.
We had fun on your birthday trip, Matt.
Yeah. Happy birthday, girl.
Yay, we sing happy birthday to you, huh? Yeah.
All right. Thank you, girl. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. Okay, say mama.
Bye, baby.
Okay. We're back.
We're back.
Hopefully that was fun. I don't know how it went, if she enjoyed it. But we loved going on her birthday adventure with family and going on this adventure with her. It was such a blast. I'm so glad we decided to do it.
Yeah.
It was worth every penny. It was worth every planning session and all that effort. It was so much stinking fun.
Yes.
So
just the memories. And again, the Merrytime cruising, I highly, highly, highly recommend. We cannot wait to do another Merrytime cruise.
yes, worth the premium. You pay a little extra to go on these. It is worth it.
You guys, it will not disappoint. The ship's absolutely stunning. Just like all the cast members are in like really cute, like Santa hats.
Yeah, and scarves. Yeah.
And it's just like I felt like the start of the season and the Christmas spirit was literally that ship for us.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun.
It was very, very fun. So very fun. If you have any questions about Disney Cruise Line, let us know. We're not experts by any means. I will say we're gold next sailing, which I'm very excited for.
I'm so excited.
All that money and time, we're finally gold.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
For my wet, dry bag.
They give us a $14 item to reward us for the thousands we've spent. So we're looking forward to our next trip. But again, if you have questions, let us know. We'd love to answer them for you over on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, both a huge help to the show. We have a Patreon, markethousepodcast.com/support is where you can support us over there for bonus content and a great way to support the show. Remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link and use code MarketHouse10 for an additional $10 off. Join us next week for another episode. It's been fun. It's been grand. It's been filled with Mickey Churro Waffles. Bye.